What happened? Yes, here see now execution is stopping here. Okay, guys, see in line number 39. Okay, application is open. So now we are clicking this login button. How we defined what is the locator we are using to click login button. See now here we are using name, right? Now I can stop it here. See that still I can click this login button by using HTML text, guys. Let us see that is there any text is there. Okay, yes, it is closing the application. If I stop the execution in the middle, it is closing the application, guys. I will comment all these lines, then I will run it, guys. Run in normal mode. Now it is application is moved, but guys, now see here for this login button, is there any HTML text available for this login button? This is the HTML text, right, guys? So by using this HTML text, I will try to identify this login button instead of using name locator, guys, using XPATH. Let us see here. It is not a link. Understand, guys? See that it is not a link element. Okay, it is not a link element. It is a button element. HTML tag is button, so it is not a link. And but it has HTML text available for this element. So right now we are using name locator to identify this login button. Okay, guys. Now we can also use this HTML text to identify this button element in XPath with XPath. So let me see this. Let us copy this HTML text value. Now I'm going to change it statement. Instead of using name login, I will define here XPath dot XPath. Yes, is it visible? The font size.
Yes, sir.
Define here double slash. What is the HTML tag name? Button. And inside square brackets, you should define the text value using text method, text function. Okay, guys, text function equal to the text value. That's all. So this is how you can define HTML text inside XPath by using text. Let me increase the font size. Okay, guys, now, so here it is the XPath we define using HTML text, guys. I'm copying it. Example. And yes, see, like this, you can define HTML text using text function inside XPath, guys. Similarly, you can change, see that here, it is login button. To click login button, we are changing this XPath. Okay, guys. Similarly, let me change here. ID also is there. I will convert this also to XPath. I dot XPath. What is the HTML tag name for password? Input. Double slash input. Input at ID equal to none, closed. Okay, guys, this is the XPath for this. I dot XPath, guys. So now, if you see here in this login script, we converted, we are using only XPath, guys, to identify all web elements in the login script. Okay, guys. So let us see that is it working or not on 3. Okay, guys, it is clicking. It is clicking login button. So this XPath is working fine. Yes, all of you clear. Similarly, you can also use HTML text to identify link also. This suppose here forgotten password link. If I want to click this link, so for this link, what is HTML text? Let us copy that. Copy this link text. So this is the HTML text. Copy it, and let us define this link. I'm commenting this line, and I'm adding here dot find element by dot XPath double slash A is the tag name. Inside A, text you have defined. That's all. Text function equal to that. Dot click. Let's see. This is how you can define, right? You can use a HTML text to identify the links using XPath. Yes. Now let us see that is it working or not. Okay, forgotten link is clicking. Okay, guys. So it is working fine. Have you clear, guys, how to define HTML text in the XPath? So you can use this approach to identify any web element with HTML text, guys. if there is no attributes available, but if any HTML text is available for any web element, you can use this text function to identify that element. Okay, it is useful to identify elements by using HTML text value. Yes, the next function we can use in XPath is contains function. Contains function. See, contains function is really very useful function. Yes, what is the use of this function is here to identify, to define, to define, to define substring, substring, define substring of any attribute or HTML text value, HTML text. We can use contains function in XPath to define a substring of any attribute, a substring of any attribute or HTML text, guys. Substring means nothing but a partial value. Suppose, see, generally now in the XPath, for any attribute, we are defining full attribute value, right? See, ID equal to email, ID equal to password. All of you clear, guys? Similarly, suppose if you see that login, for login, name we are using, right? For login button. So what is the attribute we are we are using default name attribute we are using, correct? Here say that for this login button, what is the name? Login is there. Is it right? Yes. Okay. Data test ID. See, look at that here. There is one more attribute available. Data test ID. Understand, guys? Royal login button. All of you clear, guys? I can also use this attribute. See, not only name attribute. I can use any attribute with unique value, right? To identify any web element in the XPath. So I can also use this data test ID attribute as well. Let us see that how to identify this login button using data test ID, guys. Now I'm going to use this data test ID to identify login button. So instead of using text here, I'm going to use attribute name data hyphen test ID. Since it is an attribute, the attribute should be prefixed with at the rate of symbol. Okay, equal to, copy that attribute value. Okay, so royal login button. So this, like this, see, we can use any attribute. Is it right in the XPath? So let me take this attribute data test ID and then see that is it working or not. How you can cross check that this XPath is working or not. Just copy this XPath and see that whether this is identifying that login button or not. Okay. Control F. See, guys, it is highlighting one element. Okay, it is highlighting the login button successfully, guys. See, now here I'm using attribute name test data test ID is the attribute we are using, and that attribute value is royal underscore login underscore button. You got it, guys? So here we defined the full value of that attribute. Generally, we define full value of for any attribute, correct? So suppose if there is any right, what is that long attribute value is there, or sometimes right, some dynamic what is that dynamic value can be there. Some for sometimes that attributes may contain dynamic values. Dynamic value means one part of the attribute value may be constant and other part may be changing dynamically. All of you clear, guys? There might be sometimes an attribute value with some constant text and some dynamic text. Both may be there. All of you clear? Or sometimes your attributes may be having long values. So in such case, okay guys, you no need to use full value of that attribute. So you can take a substring of that attribute value and you can define that. How to define here substring of any attribute? So let us see that by using contains method, guys. Now I'm going to use here contains function inside XPATH. So instead of using this full text for this attribute, I want to define a substring of this attribute value. Yes, here, first you should write here before this attribute name, you should write here contains method function and open the bracket. And inside this bracket, you should define what is the attribute name, comma. I want to check this attribute name and what is the substring for this attribute you want to define. Substring means you no need to define full value of the attribute. You can define any value, either right starting value or ending value or middle value, anything you can define. See, for example, I will remove this button, guys. I will remove this button. Say I'm defining only partial beginning value for this attribute. All of you clear? For this attribute, I'm not defining the full attribute value, guys. Now I'm defining beginning value. I deleted ending value right here. Still, this XPath should identify that login button. You can cross check that. See now, let us see here. We already defined here, right? See, I will remove this button. Okay, guys. See, I'm using now only partial value. See now, no element is found. 0 elements are showing here because I have not defined here contains method. Contains function is not defined here. Understand, guys? Now, if I define contains function with partial value, it will identify. Let us see that. I'm defining here contains function. Inside contains function, you should not write equal. First, you should define attribute name, comma, and partial value you should define, guys. Okay, now see that it is highlighting the same web element login button. See, I'm using here starting value of that attribute. I'm not using full attribute value, guys. Similarly, I can define middle value also. You can define starting value or middle value. See, I will remove Royal also. I will use simply login. See that still it is identifying. All of it clear? See, now I will define ending value, login underscore button. I will define. See, now also it is identifying. See, that means I am using 3 different substrings I'm using for that attribute. We are able to identify that button by using 3 different substrings of that attribute, guys. I tried with starting value, middle value, and ending value. Is it right? All 3 XPaths are working fine. I see that this is the XPath. Now we are using starting beginning value, starting partial value, or I can say starting substring. So it is defined. Yes, this is a starting substring we defined here, guys. Defined here. You can use any substring value, guys. Any substring, right? We can use here. Use starting, middle, or ending substrings. Any substrings we can use. So here, starting substring in this XPath we are using is the Okay, similarly, let us see that middle substring. So let me copy this. A middle substring means I can define just a login. I will remove while also. So this is the ending substring. For ending substring, I will define here login underscore button is the button. So like this, you can use this contains function in XPath. Okay, guys, all of you clear got it now? How to use contains function to define any attribute substring. All of you clear, guys? Similarly, you can use this substring of HTML text as well. How to use that HTML text substring? It is very simple. It's here, see that. I will show you this. I'm commenting this. Let us take this forgotten link. Here I'm using text, HTML text, right? Forgotten password is the HTML text. So I want to define only forgotten. I want to use only forgotten substring, not the full substring, full HTML text. I want to use only forgotten substring, not full HTML text. So in that case, remove this password. So now I'm defining just forgotten substring. Then add here contains function. That's all. Contains inside bracket text is the HTML text should be defined using text function. So text function should be defined, not equal. You should write comment, comma. Sorry, not here. Here after the brackets. Okay, guys. Replace equal with comma. That is what we have to do. Forgotten and close contains function bracket is done. So this is where you can replace. You can use substring of HTML text also. Okay, guys, this is the example for HTML text substring, guys. I'm defining here. Okay, guys, clear now how to use substrings of any attribute or substring of any HTML text by using contains method, contains function. We can call it contains function. So that is the use of contains function. It is very useful. All right, sometimes right where you don't have any other option, you may have sometimes what is that? Only HTML text. In that also, that HTML text may not be constant. It might be dynamically changing. That means that not the full value, only some part of the HTML text or attribute value can be changing, and some part of the value may be constant. So in such case, you have to use this contains method. Ignore the dynamic text, only use the constant text, which is not changing every time. So you can use that constant text alone to identify that particular element by using contains function, guys. So the next function, guys, any doubts, guys, in the contains function?